How is Assassin's Creed Shadows doing? We got many metrics actually, and is it enough to save Ubisoft? So lots to go over. Maybe you already saw this, but over the weekend, Ubisoft announced that Assassin's Creed Shadows now has 2 million players, and that's pretty big. They also noted that they now surpassed the launches of AC Origins and Shadows. Thank you for joining the journey in feudal Japan. Of course, 2 million players does not mean 2 million sold. We can now play the game through Ubisoft Plus or Connect, Ubisoft Plus, Connect, one of the two, for $18 a month. So yeah, that's one way to play the game. Obviously, I know the game was like bundled with some PC parts. Still, 2 million and being bigger than Origins and Odyssey. We got some more exact numbers in a moment here too. It's pretty good so far. We also have numbers from the UK. Christopher Dring has the data. In terms of physical sales, Assassin's Creed Shadows is the biggest UK game launch this year, ahead of Monster Hunter Wilds. It sold more boxed copies in week 1 than Star Wars Outlaws managed in 3 months. I remember before the launch of Outlaws, people were like, is Outlaws gonna be bigger than Shadows? It's a Star Wars game. And I was all like, you guys are underestimating how big Assassin's Creed is. But to put this, I think in terms of budget, Outlaws and Shadows were probably close. Maybe Outlaws, of course, a little less, but still. Okay, but we, of course, know Outlaws did not really do well. But in terms of, like, Shadows being the biggest UK launch, we know Monster Hunter Wilds sold 8 million in 3 days. But yeah, it makes sense for a multiplayer game to be bigger digitally, while a single-player game being bigger physically. And Shadows is, of course, still a bigger mainstream brand, even though Monster Hunter Wilds in general, in terms of player numbers, is way bigger than Shadows. But yeah, also here on Steam, it's the #1 seller. So that's pretty good. It has been for a week or so now. So far, so good. Also on the PlayStation Store, we can see that it's the #1 game. So, again, the good word of mouth is getting to people. Digital Foundry made a lot of like great videos as well, just showcasing the insane leap. Because, of course, we're now finally ditching the PS4 and Xbox One. Mirage still launched on PS4 and Xbox One last year. But now with Shadows, finally that Black Flag to Unity kind of leap are we seeing. And that seeing the wind and just the beautiful graphics, it really helps to sell the game, obviously. So I'm happy that because that's what we're kind of seeing now, right? Now that the game is out, the negativity was, of course, nonsense. We have a very positive rating on Steam because it has an actual good PC port. Like Monster Hunter Wilds does not have that, and usually AAA games do not really have that. And I really think overall, and I really hope that Ubisoft, if they are able to, can take this lesson that delaying a game, because Shadows really shows those developers at Ubisoft, they got the stuff in terms of launching a polished product. But they need to get the time to actually get that done. And I think Shadows really shows that. It really reminds me of playing Origins day 1. That also felt amazing, also did not have a lot of bugs. Shadows is like that, and they can now build on that. And we will get to that in a moment, because we also have this Reddit post, and I need to quickly grab it. Because also over the weekend, we have a thank you message from the development team. So this weekend, many of us on the dev team spent time reading your reactions across the Assassin's Creed subreddit, and we just want to say thank you. The sheer amount of love and positivity we've received have been incredibly heartwarming. Like, you have to remember that these developers that are just working on this game, putting their like soul into it, they are working on it for 4 years, sometimes longer, and to see all the negativity without being able to say anything about that, or because that would only twist things and make things worse, to now have the game out and see a lot of people playing it and being like, whoa, this is actually really cool. It's cool to see. It's well deserved. So that is really awesome. While we don't reply directly, please know we're listening. The entire dev team has been reading your post, the celebrations, the feedback, and the theories, and it's been inspiring. It fuels us. It helps us keep improving. Thank you for being part of the journey with us. This is just the beginning for Shadows, and we're thrilled to see the game evolve with you by our side. The Shadows development team. So yeah, this is all heartwarming. Like, I do think if you're on that team and you only see negativity about your game and you are playing in it like, am I seeing something that is not... Are we making a good... Like, at one point, you kind of, I think, lose it. And then to finally have it out and be like, no, we did actually make something cool that people enjoy, I think it is really, really good. So, yeah, but this part, like the beginning of Shadows, we know that they want to support this for longer than Valhalla. So, 2.5 years, 3 years. They said that they want Shadows to live alongside Hexe, while normally if a new Assassin's Creed comes out, the other one kind of phases out. So, we got big things planned. I can't wait to hear what they have planned. But yeah, we got more metrics right here. So, actually over the weekend, so this was the previous record holder on Steam, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Over the weekend, Shadows passed it. 64,000 concurrent players on Steam. And of course, worth noting, we cannot compare to Valhalla because that game did not launch Steam day one. But worth noting, when Odyssey came out 6.4 years ago, Steam was way smaller. So the Steam numbers are not very good. I think we can all kind of agree on that. Now, having them increase steadily though, every day, that is positive. Usually it peaks at like on launch day or Saturday, the first Saturday after launch. So seeing it actually increase, people keep playing, more people are joining. That's, I think, good. But yeah, we know Assassin's Creed is mostly a console game. This kind of confirms that. Obviously, you have the Ubisoft Connect launcher. Again, Ubisoft Plus, where you can play the game. Epic Game Store, where they launched Valhalla and stuff. So there are many ways to look at this. But still, for a game of this budget, for a RPG, an open world RPG that should be like for the PC audience, it's not very good. But it can still increase. We will have to wait and see. But I think they probably sold 300,000 on PC, on Steam. Something like that, 200, 300. Still pretty good. But again, like Dragon Age Veilguard had a higher concurrent number. So, yeah. But let's actually go to this information. Tom Henderson had removed the original Shadows tweet because I was sourcing the Valhalla wiki, which was inaccurate. Happy to point that out because, yeah, that happened kind of before this. But I'm glad that Tom came through with some, yeah, internal data, behind-the-scenes data from Ubisoft sources. So, Valhalla was, of course, the biggest Assassin's Creed launch ever. It had 2.5 or 55 million players day one. Odyssey, 430,000. And Shadows Day 2 numbers were 2.2 million, as we saw on the tweet. So, we don't have, like, day 1 numbers for Shadows, so we can't really compare it with Valhalla. But, yeah, it's way bigger than what Odyssey had. And we never, like... Valhalla was, of course, an interesting time. For one, everyone was stuck in their home. So people actually had time to sink into a 30... it's 80 hours, right, Valhalla game. And it was a launch title for the Xbox Series and PS5 the week later. So people were dying for a big game like that. And of course the Viking era really worked out. It had way less or almost no controversies compared to Shadows. So things were all lining up for Valhalla. So yeah, seeing Shadows do the 2.2 million, that's pretty good. And with that, Tom is like kind of... So internally, they of course look at all the previous Assassin's Creed games. They're like, okay, it did better than Origins and Odyssey. Odyssey, he says, had a 3.4 million in the first month player number. So yeah, Shadows is already close to that. Now, of course, I do think, to give like Odyssey kind of a pass, it launched a few weeks before Red Dead Redemption 2. So that it still had 3.4 million in the first month. For a game that... When that, like, released, everyone's like, this is not Assassin's Creed, it's Spartan Creed. And it was 1 year after Origins, 4 years between Valhalla and Shadows. Odyssey, of course, over time, improved and improved and improved. So, that game still did very well. But yeah, seeing Shadows track before it is positive. So they, according to, like, metrics, 6 million in the first month. Valhalla did 8 million. I think it's also worth noting that, of course, these numbers, Valhalla, Odyssey, they are all during the holiday season. And these games, Assassin's Creed games, tend to sell really well in the holiday season. That's why Ubisoft releases them. So to now have Shadows in March with this number pretty good. And 6 million would be pretty good. That would be close to being profitable because, not sure if you saw, but, and there's no spoiler or anything, but the credits for Shadows are 2 hours long. There are, like, that's what they need. Okay, this speed, it's a pretty slow speed. You can speed this up. You don't have to watch this. That's not the point. The point is that they had so many, like, people touched this game through development, through marketing, and all sort of other stuff, that that the credits were 2 hours. I don't think we've ever had a game where the credits were 2 hours. Now, you might be like, okay, what does it matter? Well, it shows you that it was a very expensive product. And I said it in the Sunday video, of course, as well. Spider-Man 2, 300 million budget, that had to sell 7.2 million copies at full price to break even. Like, Shadows was probably 300 million easily as well. If you look at the amount of studios that have worked on it, I think if we go to the Steam page, you can actually see that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 studios worked on Shadows. That's an expensive game. So, if Marvel Spider-Man 2, and worth noting, Sony, well, because it was a PS5 exclusive, all the money from Spider-Man 2 immediately went in Sony's pockets if they sold it through the PlayStation Store. Now Spider-Man 2 is like an interesting situation because they still have to give Marvel like 30%. So, but yeah, they got 100% of the money. So Ubisoft has to pay PlayStation or Xbox if they sell it on their platform, or Steam 30% as well. So I think the 7.2 is probably kind of on the line here, or kind of like similar in comparison. So even after 1 month, if we have 6 million players, which not even sold, they probably have not turned a profit yet. Now, obviously, at one point the game will turn a profit. Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla made 1 billion in revenue. Like, it's not only the copies sold, they have the microtransactions, of course, as well, that probably make a few hundred million when all is said and done. So, and that's like only profit if you look at the amount of like budget it costs to make those items. So this game will totally turn a profit, but why we're kind of course obsessing in a way over these numbers is this has to be it for Ubisoft. This has to be it. What, looking at all the failures they had, we mentioned Star Wars Outlaws, but of course the list is very long, and I don't want to repeat all of them, like then we will be here for a long time. Deviant, Avatar, Skull and Bones, etc., etc. Like, Shadows had to be a Valhalla type success. So the 2.5 million at launch, and then 10 million in the first month, and just go on like that. It's not that. It's still doing relatively well versus the amount of pushback it had at launch. And the word of mouth, I do think, is going to carry it to the 6 million in 1 month, which is very good. So I think, like, it's a huge success for the team, for the developers, for what they were setting out to do. If Ubisoft was a healthy company, this would have been great. And it would be like, nice, let's move on to the next one and let's see. But they needed more from this, I think. So they are going to still be like, okay, Shadows is now out. We made this. Assassin's Creed franchise, thumbs up. We're going to invest more in that. That is still good for us. Rainbow Six, thumbs up. That's still going to be good for us. But we have all this other stuff that is bringing down the profit that we're making with these Rainbow Six and Assassin's Creed franchises. And we need to get rid of that. So I really think we have rumors about them spinning off the company, making a new sort of company where they house the Assassin's Creed and Rainbow Six franchise. Maybe they bring Far Cry over as well, Ghost Recon or something. And then all the other stuff, I think they're going to sell maybe Prince of Persia, maybe Division, maybe some other franchises, and just focus on... They have now seen with Shadows, I think Shadows shows you Ubisoft can be a profitable company if they, like an Activision, like an EA, like a Take-Two, just focus on a few properties and put all their effort into that instead of try a million things that then all don't work out. So then the only thing that make money have to make an obscene amount of money that is not like realistic to make up for all the rest. So to end the video, like I think Shadows is doing, I think maybe better than they expect. Like this is probably their positive. Yeah, this is what they were hoping for, I think, in a positive way. And hopefully it can go up. Like word of mouth is helping. People are like, why was everyone so negative on the game? It's actually really good. But it's not gonna be enough. So I really think after March, the financial year is over, Ubisoft is gonna count their money. It's gonna be like, okay, but what do we have for 2025 and beyond? Far Cry is end of 2026. That's our next big game. We know they want to do like a new, like they want to sell paid content for Assassin's Creed every year. They of course have the post-launch for Shadows. They have Rainbow Six Siege X. But that is not, like they don't have a big new game that's going to make a lot of money in the foreseeable future. And then they are looking at the numbers and be like, this is not going to work out. So it's going to be fascinating and interesting, I think, to have during these videos and these streams to kind of go in depth on the whole situation in the coming weeks. But I don't think that what we're now seeing is going to be enough. It's a success in its own right, but it's not a success in what I think Ubisoft needs in order to go business as usual. So, yeah, if you want to follow all that stuff, of course, subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments down below. I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.